unafraid.
Plenipotentiary Chief Nanya Shabuel.
Now the copper trumpet. And so, after a silence of over 3,000 years, these two voices out of Egypt's glorious past have gone echoing across the world.
These SF-181 race and ethnicity definitions brought to you by the Office of Management and Budget, the Office of Personnel Management, my nigga, and the U.S. Department of Education. Don't like what I'm saying? Rip up your diplomas, your master's degrees, your PhDs.
Jello Beats, holla at me.
I am white though. 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 Melanin means white. I am white though. I am white though. Melanin means white. I am white though. White is right. Melanin means white. I am white. White is right. Melanin means white. I am white though. I am white though. I am white though. White, you're right. I am white though. I am white though. You're right, you're right. I am white though. Melanin means white. I am white though. You're right, you're right. I am white though. Melanin means white. I am white though. White is right. Melanin means white. I am white. White is right. Melanin means white. I am white though. I am white though. I am white though. White, you're right. I am white though. I am white though. You're right, you're right. I am white though. Melanin means white. I am white though. You're right, you're right. I am white though. Melanin means white. I am white though. White is right. Melanin means white. right. I am white though. I am white, I am white, I am white though. You're right, you're right. I am white though. Melanin means white. I am white though. You're right, you're right. I am white though. Melanin means white. I am white though. White, I'm white. Melanin means white. I am white. I am white. Melanin means white. I am white though. It's up to us with melanin to change the face of white. White. A person having origins in any of the original peoples in Europe, Middle East, or North Africa.
I feel some spoken word in the air. Just because you know I care. Let me talk to you. We got to make it better. We got to make it better. We got to make it Spiritual warfare is crazy. Your ego is out there. The clock is ticking. It's time you
Do what? 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 Yeah, but you got to be loud. You can't get mad at stuff too loud. You have to learn to ignore it. Do what? That's doom. Get better at that. That's doom.
Get those planes from the sky, poison people so they die. I'm tired of being down, watching heads spinning around. Spin around, spin around. Some faces bringing you back to old time smile. Get rid of those frowns. Get rid of that too. I'm gonna make you better. Can you help me make it better? Race ethnicity is what you need to raise. Race ethnicity to be. We gotta make it better. We gotta make it better. Amazing how the twinkle in your eyes used to be above. Like you were standing there looking straight from above. What happened? No one can judge you but yourself. Help me to bring back love and peace or something and make you better. We got to make it better. We got to make it better. I got to make it better. We got to make it better.
Better house, better crib, better mind, stay in. Better house, better crib, better mind, stay in. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of being fired, turned around and guilty hired. I'm tired of 9 to 5. I'm tired of the day-to-day grind. I'm tired of all this. I'm sick and tired of all these people with their stupid lies. How many times, how many tries is it gonna take until you make it to the top? I try my best, and people tell me I can stop. I can't. I'm so nice, I'm so real, and so people think I feel it just be understood. The word I speak is so true. You can let me listen any booth.
I speak the same truth.
Temta, Bilkusha, Iwat, Biwasamos, Pa, Temta. Begin all things by first using all.
The trumpets of the Pharaoh Tutankhamun, Lord of the Crowns, King of the South and North, Son of Bread.
Plenipotentiary Chief Nanya Shabuel.
Now the copper trumpet. And so, after a silence of over 3,000 years, these two voices out of Egypt's glorious past have gone echoing across the world.
These SF-181 race and ethnicity definitions brought to you by the Office of Management and Budget, the Office of Personnel Management, my nigga, and the U.S. Department of Education. Don't like what I'm saying? Rip up your diplomas, your master's degrees, your PhDs.
Jungle Beats, holla at me.
I am white though. 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 Melanin means white. I am white though. I am white though. Melanin means white. I am white though. White is right. Melanin means white. I am white. White is right. Melanin means white. I am white though. I am white though. I am white though. White is right. I am white though.
How
white
I?
though. Melanin means white. I am white though. You're white, you're right. I am white though. Melanin means white. I am white though. White is right. Melanin means white. I am white. I mean, white is right. Melanin means white. I am white though. I am white though. I am white though. White, you're right. I am white though. I am white. I am white. I am white though. White, you're right. I am white though. Melanin means white. I am white though. You're white, you're right.
What's that about? What's that?
Melanin means white. I am white though.
Oh, what's this?
White is right. Melanin means white. I am white. I mean, white is right. Melanin means white. I am white though. I am white though. I am white though. White, you're right. I am white though. I am white. I am white. I am white though. You're white, you're right. I am white though. Melanin means white. I am white though. You're white, you're right. I am white though. Melanin means white. I am white though. White is right. Melanin means white. I am white. I am white. Melanin means white. I am white though. It's up to us with melanin to change the face of white. White. A person having origins in any of the original peoples of Europe, Middle East, or North Africa.
I put some spoken word in the air, just because you know I care. Let me talk to you. We got to make it better. We got to make it better. We got to make it Spiritual warfare is crazy. Your ego is out there. The clock is ticking. Time is talking. You took down there. I gotta make it better. I'm taking it down. Lose the confusion. Life is hard with illusion. You think, I don't know if I can even dare, but yeah, because I gotta make it better. I'm going to make it better. Get those planes out the sky, poison people so they die. You gotta make it better. I'm tired of being down. Watching heads spinning around. Spin around, spin around. Faces of soul faces bringing you back to old time smile. Get rid of those frowns. I gotta make it better. Can't help me make it better.
Racing ethnicity is what you need to
I'm going to make it better.
Racing ethnicity to be.
We gotta make it better. We gotta make it better. Amazing how the twinkle in your eyes used to be a love. Like you were standing there looking straight from above. What happened? No one can judge you but yourself. Help me to bring back love and peace or something and make it better. We got to make it better. We got to make it better. I got to make it better. We got to make it better.
Better house, better crib, better mind, stay in. Better house, better crib, better mind, stay in. I'm sick and tired being sick and tired. I'm sick and tired being fired, turned around and get rehired. I'm tired of 9 to 5. I'm tired of day-to-day grind. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of all these people with their silly lies. How many times, how many tries is it gonna take until we make it to the top? I try my best, and people tell me I can stop. I can't. I'm so gangster, I'm so weird.
Thanks out, Rawat Yuantikin. Oh, White, the audio is great. Much appreciated. And Tazwa Kuyani, greetings. I'm just sending out some more links here for people. I know people were looking forward to hearing what was happening. And of course, we know we always get that little bit of blockage from Facebook. I tag people and then they don't get the tag till after it's over, as well as the Telegram. All right. And we should have a whole bunch here. Okay, great. So I want to start off. This is White Autochthon News episode 18. And I want to start off with a video here that I got from Candace Owens of all people. And these people are starting to wake up. They're in the ballpark. They're right there. They just need to get in the right seat. And this was a video that I recorded. I had it earlier today and was able to, finally get down to recording it. So what I'm going to do here is I can play the audio, but I want to see the video so you can see the inflections in her voice. And this is in reference to her little battle, not so much little, with the president of France and his husband, and the fact that she got word that they put a hit out on her from a French official. And I was amazed at what she said. Okay, this is what I'm going to have to do in case she said in case anything happens to her. So just bear with me while I get this. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to use Telegram because I have put the video there. There we go. Oh, I thought I uploaded it. Yeah, it's not that long. The clip is very short. So go ahead. You can put for those of you that just came in, you can go ahead and put your questions in the comments in the chat here. And as we know, for those of you, I don't think I put the link in here. Okay, so here's the link. You can go ahead and share that while I'm uploading this. Yeah, just know that the quality sometimes is a little better on Telegram than it is on regular. So great. Then we're going to get into the events that happened these past 7 days. Y'all are not going to believe it. And I'm just going to see which day were we going to pick. Okay, we'll start at Thursday. Thursday will be the day to start off with. Yeah, that would be the 20th. Okay. And we'll be covering some articles again today between the Three-Eye Atlas, the human resonance, and what's happening with the earth events like the volcano in Indonesia. A lot of this has to deal with these earth changes, and of course I can't forget the sun. The sun was letting off some more energy, so you're going to be surprised some of the different articles. So I'll be bouncing between Telegram, Facebook, and potentially emails. Out there. What's that? What you got there? Out there. Out there. No, you cut off. No, give me the bear paws. No, don't walk away from me. Give me the bear paws. That's it. You cut. Give me that bear paw that you left on the table there. Bring that. You were cut off from bear paws. You want something to eat? So you asked me, you want something to eat. Better? Better? You are officially cut off of bear paws. We'll have some hot dogs. Come on. Nothing? No, Kathy? Some hot dogs from them? What? Up soon. Someone that's hungry. Okay, great. Alright, so here's the video. I was blown away.
I went ahead this week and sent around a license.
Alright, so here's Candace Owens. See, I can make this up. There we go. So she's got some problems. So check this out.
I went ahead this week and sent around a life insurance policy of sorts, a package rather, people that I trust, a package filled with text messages, emails, private communication, videos, and private legal documents. So if anything happens to me, you guys will know exactly who it is that has been making my life a living hell over the past couple of years. People that are trying to bankrupt me, and bankrupt me and my family, that are threatening us, sue us. Everything that Kanye said was so real. Okay? I'm now at that point where you look back and you go, man, Kanye was right. He was really saying something about what it takes to lead. You know, to fight for custody of your own soul. Leave me alone. Let me say what I believe and you say what you believe. Fight fair. Why do you always have to make this threat to bankrupt people? And I want you to know that those people, if anything happens to me, they have my explicit permission to release it all, detonate it all, expose all of these people in politics and in the movement to behave like this behind the scenes. It's necessary. I highly recommend every single person that's out there as a platform and is going through things and scared, do the same. Send everything around to about 8 people that you trust. And I mean, I've sent it to journalists, text messages and screenshots to people ranging from Max Blumenthal to Andrew Tate. They won't know where it's coming from.
So, yes, I found that very, very interesting. So they're starting to realize that it's a real battle out here. It isn't about, you know, being in a civil society. It has more to do with, you know, who's going to be the most compliant. And sending packages out or information out to people in the event of, I've been doing that for years. So this ain't nothing, that ain't nothing new to me. So I found that very, very interesting how that has occurred on this past few days with her and with the developments and things that are happening. So what is going to happen is I'm going to start off on Thursday because everyone knew I had to go down to Calgary. So when I went down there, got into the vessel, and what was interesting was after and it wasn't really a lot of people in there. But after they got through the formality, the administrator or the judge for the province of Alberta um, uh, asked me like what I'm here for, and I was like, well, I was supposed to come down there, so I came down, and this is the case. And so when the subject came up, he had said, you know, because originally when he came out, I didn't stand up, and then he was like, you have to stand like everyone else. I said, it's not the Canada Criminal Code, I don't have to. And then he just stood there, like he didn't know what to say, didn't know what to do, he just froze. And then he was like, well, I'm going to debate that with you later. And so when he finally came to my case, and then he said, okay, I need you to stand here. And I said, is this the witness box? He said, no, it's the prisoner's docket. I'm like, okay. And so then he stated, I'm just here to deal with whether you want to plead guilty, not guilty, if you want to, have the disclosure, get with counsel. I said, well, I applied for, or asked for my disclosure and never got it. And I said, Edmonton emailed Calgary and said, when can he be expecting his disclosure? I said, I never got no response from anybody. And so then that's when the Crown stood up and she's like, oh yes, he did make a request for disclosure, and disclosure has been sent. It's in Edmonton. And at that point I'm like, so I come all the way down here for you all to tell me it's in Edmonton. And so this case is set for today, but you don't have the disclosure here. You send it to the city where the originating EPO and this issue started, but you don't have it there in the city that's wanting to do a case on it. Made no sense whatsoever. So I said, okay, I left, and then as I was leaving, I stopped, and he had moved on actually to another case, and then I stopped and I said, when did you send that? Because she said it was sent. She said, oh, we sent it yesterday. And then at that point, I just turned and walked out the courtroom. I was beyond upset. I was disgusted. Like, what game are you playing? You tell me to show up, I come, you don't have the disclosure there. You send it to Edmonton. What are you sending it to Edmonton for? I said, so I wasted my time coming down here. And one thing I didn't ask, which I need to give myself a mental note, when they say they send it, you ask them what time. They sent it the day before, which was Wednesday, at 4:09 p.m. Knowing, not even giving me a heads up, like, hey, your disclosures are being sent on. Well, but why would you send it if it's supposed to be done in Calgary? Makes no sense whatsoever. So that was what happened there on Thursday. And Friday, of course, was the family docket court. And at the family docket court, what happened was they had, we went in there, and Nicole's attorney stated that the children are registered. And so, of course, I objected, and I said, children are not registered in Abbott. I said, I know this because I was given a phone call from PTSD directly. They called me directly, and I said, I registered children on the 5th of November. They said, we don't have any record of the children being registered anywhere. And I was like, oh, really? Okay. So I put that to the side because I already have the emails and the screenshots to prove that I registered my children, and that I got confirmation that the applications were accepted. Rawat. So I said, okay, but in the meantime, I said, I don't have a withdrawal notice, which is required under the Education Act. I'm surprised how many people who are teachers, educators, administrators, they have no clue about what the Alberta Education Act is. None whatsoever. My daughter is 7 and she's supposed to be going to school. It's mandatory. The mother cannot register her because the mother said she lived in Calgary. So now, how did she change her residency from Calgary to Edmonton? Because according on October 15th, he told Justice Kiss she lived in Calgary. And then Justice Kiss had to tell her, you didn't have leave. You don't have leave from the court and you do not have an order. Not only that, you don't have an order to take the children to Calgary. So I know all this. All this, I was right there. That's all documented. October 15th, 2025 at the Gregorian calendar. So that justice knows. So these other public officials between Edmonton and Calgary should know. Now the question is, how did this woman get to Calgary when she didn't have a car? And for that reason, I brought that up. And then the subject came up to Nicole's counsel, Kevin Livingstone, that she actually registered the children. I said, no, you didn't. I said, because I got a phone call 2 days earlier. They're not registered anywhere. And they're registered. I said, no, they're not. On the record, for the record, let the record show. And so what ended up happening is Justice Krause said, okay, can you produce that? Because I asked for, okay, if they're registered, then I have to get notification that the children are registered. You got that in writing? I need that in paper. And that's when Justice Krause looked at him and said, okay, can you facilitate that? And he said, well, Mother's working on getting the letter. I was like, not true. Because, and this is the last thing I said in the Edmonton court, was that at the family docket, I said, I know the children aren't registered because you have to have Edmonton residency, and number one. Number two, the car she has is registered in where? Calgary. And they give you 14 days in the province of Alberta to change your address over to wherever you're residing. So if you move from Edmonton to Calgary, you got 14 days to switch everything over. You move from Calgary to Edmonton, you got 14 days to switch everything over. So the big question, which will come up at some point in the future, is at what point between September 5th, 2025 and September, I'll say September 17th, between those dates, when did Nicole move to Calgary? Because we're now in November. And I'm certain there's going to be she has difficulty establishing residency here for numerous reasons. One of which I'm going to tell the entire planet, so I know there's someone here that's a viewer that I cannot see. I can see everyone else who's been accounted for, except for this third viewer. So whoever this third viewer is, whether it's from Facebook or whether it's somebody that I blocked or whatever, but is watching from the shadows, and I'll tell them everybody is going to be coming into the sunlight. No one is going to be in no shadows or shade. Everyone. See how that sun is letting off solar flares like nothing, like every other day, another solar flare, another solar flare, another solar flare. I told you all, everyone will be in the sunlight. No one is staying in the shade. And what most people don't know is on October 15th, 2025, in courtroom 517 at the Edmonton Law Courts on Treaty 6 territory, Northern Turtle Island, that vessel in dry dock, titled in the Atlantic Ocean, Nicole was told she did not have leave and was told she could not leave from Edmonton and go to Calgary to live in a shelter. Straight out the justice's mouth. And what happened after that? The next day, the car that Nicole drives, that car is registered in Calgary on October 16th. In defiance of Justice Kiss's order, I dare say commandment, for Nicole that she did not have leave. And Nicole went and registered the car anyway. most people will say, so how is it that you know this? And the answer is quite simple, because I tracked the VIN number. I think I had showed that to you all maybe a week or two ago. So the VIN number shows the car up until past Sunday is still registered in Calgary. So when Justice Kish told her to comply, she did not. Now she's trying to register the children. She doesn't have a residency. And then her lawyer said the children were going to school. That's the email he sent me 7 days ago. And now here we are a week later, and he says in court the children are registered. I'm like, if they're registered, why you ain't send me anything? But I know they're not registered, because I've spoken with the superintendent. EPSB has emailed me. I've got other little things going on in complaints and investigations regarding how did my children get pulled out of school, who pulled them out, when, why, and why was I not notified as required under sections 7.1, 13.1, and 23 of the Alberta Education Act. So that's what happened yesterday up in the vessel. And so with that, that brings everyone up to speed. So this video by Candace Owens, absolutely fabulous. I'm going to play it again for the benefit, because I'm not even looking, it's telling me like I only have one person, and so I don't even bother looking at these numbers here on Facebook anymore. So what that tells me is that they're just suppressing numbers. I know some people may have some internet issues, but nothing that they can't handle. So I want to play, but this time I'm going to play the video off of X right now, so you all can hear it.
I went ahead this week and sent around a life insurance policy of sorts, a package rather, to people that I trust, a package filled with text messages, emails, private communications, videos, and private legal documents. So if anything happens to me, you guys will know exactly who it is that has been making my life a living hell over the past couple of years. People that are trying to bankrupt me, trying to bankrupt me and my family, that are threatening us, to sue us. Everything that Kanye said was so real, okay? I'm now at that point where you look back and you go, man, Kanye was right. He was really saying something about what it takes to leave, to fight for custody of your own soul. Just leave me alone. Let me say what I believe and you say what you believe. Fight fair. Why do you always have to make this threat to bankrupt people? And I want you to know that those people, if anything happens to me, they have my explicit permission to release it all, detonate it all, expose all of these people in politics and in the movement who behave like this behind the scenes. It's necessary. And I highly recommend every single person that is out there, that has a platform and is going through things, and is scared, do the same. Send everything around to about 8 people that you trust. And I mean, I've arranged it. I sent it to journalists, text messages and screenshots to people ranging from Max Blumenthal to Andrew Tate. They won't know where it's coming from.
And that's what you have to do. So you can clearly see that this is exactly what needs to be done. And that's why we know about the power of publishing. So for her, of all people, to go ahead and do this at this point, oh yeah, the reality of this world is fast approaching. People are seeing everybody for who they are, not what they're saying they are. And people who say they're freedom fighters and all of that type of stuff, they're now realizing that there is a significant difference between people who say they're about freedom, etc., from those who are not. It's plain, it's that cut and dry. So amazing how she thinks she's trying to get bankrupted. And so I got the video from InfoWars, and this was Candace Owens said French government has given green light to assassinate her. This was November 22nd at 11:18 a.m. Owens, who's currently being sued by French president for calling Brigitte Macron a man, says anonymous government insider told her the Macrons hired a hitman to take her out. And what's interesting about this is they had a court case in France regarding this, and they lost that. So that's why I was kind of stunned. Like, why are they coming to America to sort of people? No, they came to America to sue them. So, French High Court rules that Macron wife is a man. That's why I'm confused. Because they're saying that 10 people were put on trial because that's online. Okay, proof. Because they lost the case. I remember seeing that. I was like shocked. I was like, what? Let's see what Reuters has to say. Because as soon as she lost that case, and that's when Candace Owens said, see, I told you. See, a copy of the July 10th ruling seen by Reuters shows the Paris Court of Appeal acquitted 2 women of defaming Brigitte Macron. The court did not rule on the truth of the claims about her gender. Delphine Gigoux and Nathalie Ray had claimed in a video published in December 2021 that Brigitte Macron was a transgender woman born a man, originally called Jean-Michel Trogneux. That is also the name of her real brother, who was a co-plaintiff in the case. A criminal complaint was filed, and in September 2024, the Paris Judicial Court found both women guilty of defamation. They were fined in order to pay 8,000 euros, which is $9,150 to Brigitte Macron, and 5,000 euros to her brother. The Paris Court of Appeal in July of 2025 said the allegations about gender and transition were made in good faith and therefore did not constitute defamation, given the importance of freedom of expression in a democratic society, court documents show. The court overturned the women's convictions and acquitted them of all charges. So when people hear this, the layman is going to say, oh, well, you're going to quit them after saying all this? Oh, that means that Macron's wife is a dude, female, because it should be as easy as where's the positive and where's the negative, which side is positive, which is negative on a battery. It should be that simple and that easy. Oh yes, they got the pictures. Everyone's seen the old pictures. So I don't know if Facebook is booting everyone out. Now it's telling me nobody's here. Doesn't matter. I have a copy. I'm recording on my end, so when it's done, I upload it. So the next thing I want to jump into, now that we've got that stuff out the way, is I want to get into some of these articles. A lot of stuff going on, in, on, under, and through the planet. Oh, I'm in the wrong one. That's only where are the articles over there? Okay, so anyone who knows about stain drugs, this is an excellent video here. I'm just gonna play it.
I want to talk about some of the most popular drugs that are sold out there, statin drugs, for lowering cholesterol. A number of them have been pulled off the market after being on a couple of years and then being found out that they are dangerous. What's your thought on the whole premise of those kinds of drugs?
It's mass murder. It always leads to hardening of the liver. It always cuts off at least 20 years of your lifespan. Your brain is made from cholesterol. A statin drug is a cholesterol-lowering drug. So if you want to have a brain the size of a marble, just keep on taking them. You do not die of too much cholesterol. You die of not enough. And I will say this one more time. You do not die of too much cholesterol. There is no such thing as too much cholesterol. You die only from not enough. In a burn unit in hospitals, we use 20 to 28 hard-boiled eggs a day in a burn victim because we know only cholesterol builds healthy cells. Every single cell in your system, 87% of the new cell is built from cholesterol. Where does this cholesterol come from? See, where they came up with it, they just made up the number of 250. They just made it up. There's no science, no nothing. They tested a couple of people living in a trailer park from trash that they eat and kind of like came up with the average is kind of like 250 of combined cholesterol. And nature, that's what everybody should have. It's completely artificially made up. I have patients that have cholesterol of 600. They're the healthiest people, never been sick. Statin drugs are the most dangerous, useless drugs ever invented. And please remember your brain is built from cholesterol. 92 to 99% of the brain is built from cholesterol. The brain shrinks first. With every statin drug, you start shrinking your brain. And this is what people need to understand. Yeah.
Hello, and welcome back to
So one thing I noticed in here, you said, where does cholesterol come from? And then they skipped over it. This is that game I can't stand when Amorites do this stuff. Where is cholesterol produced? Let's see. Okay, your liver makes cholesterol. Okay. Okay, the rest of the cholesterol in your body comes from foods from animals. For example, meat, poultry, and dairy products all contain dietary cholesterol. This is on Google talking about how to clean out high cholesterol. Miracle food, I've never heard of it. That's in West Africa. So, let's see. Oh, so they said the cholesterol is mostly from meat, poultry, and dairy products. Okay. With fresh fruit have high cholesterol. Oh, not with fresh vegetables. And we'll go to fruits. Wow, ain't this amazing? Cholesterol is only found in animal products. Fruits, vegetables, grains, and all other plant foods do not have any cholesterol at all. Wow, okay. Wow. And he said your brain is made mostly of cholesterol. So, how much of the brain is made up of cholesterol? Oh, no, that's not what I was going to put. How much of the brain is made up of cholesterol? How would animal source has highest amount of cholesterol? Interesting. So beef liver has 389 milligrams of cholesterol, veal 135, lamb 106. Very interesting. Egg 212, squid 231, shrimp 194, chicken liver 631. That is amazing. This is milligrams. Very interesting. So that's it for that article. Let's move on now. Very interesting to note. Let's see what this one is. Oh gosh, you all gotta pay attention. Whoever is not on here and y'all missed this and catch the replay, you'll wish you was on live. I see one viewer, whoever that may be, greetings to you. I'm playing this. This is called Homo Borg, and this is from Dr. Anna Marie Mihalcea. Dr. Anna Maria Mihalcea. At the Panorama Clinic. Okay, so we'll play this video here. I'm just going to play a couple of 10 minutes, 35 seconds. What I'm going to do though is I'll put it in the chat here. And then what I'm going to do is put that, there we go. Oh, hold on. Jump the gun here. Yeah, I just want to make sure that I have, okay, great. And then I can post it into the chat here. Oh boy, so here we go.
Weaponization of medicine, that was a plan to humans used to fusing with technology and to really becoming cyborgs under the disguise of curing diseases, for example, making, the people who are paralyzed, being able to have more functionality by implanting a chip in their brain. But the ultimate goal of this is the complete fusion of humanity with technology. And I believe that at this point, under this disguise of scientific progress, people are completely forgetting about this dimension that is really part of the technocratic transhumanist agenda to replace every atom in the human body through nanotechnology and nanorobotics. I think it's very important to look at it. So it's so far afield from really ethics or morality or what a doctor should be, because we're at this point, artificial intelligence is so far advanced that it discusses that it can provide better care than any human. So we're walking into this dystopian future of having AI robots take care of humans, no longer humans.
Now, you presented evidence of self-assembling nanostructures, synthetic biology, programmable material entering the human body through medical intervention, also the environment. So is humanity being quietly rewritten at a cellular level?
Yes, absolutely. And we are at the end tail of this rewriting. It really started more than 30 years ago with the geoengineering project, when these filaments that you see behind me, these polymer structures of advanced nanotechnology, smart cells, started to be sprayed, and people started to be saturated with it. And so, the COVID injections, which really were the heralding of the Great Reset, what was this about? It was about the fourth industrial revolution. It really had nothing to do with a pandemic. That was just a disguise, the window dressing, to be able to induce such fear that people would go and get an injection that is filled with nanorobotics. And remember that, number one, Moderna was hired and got a contract from DARPA in 2013 to develop the mRNA platform, as well as in the early 2015, Pfizer hired Guido Balanchine from Israel to create DNA nanorobots. And he was studying and saying, hey, I can put 1,000 billion nanorobots into one syringe, and they can be then controlled via artificial intelligence like a joystick within the body of the human. This is now called precision medicine. But what they didn't tell you is that this was deployed in the COVID-19 injections. And in fact, let me show you what I've seen under the microscope. When I looked at the COVID chart, so what you see here is right here, you see a drop under the Dark microscope, and all of these blinking lights are micro and nano robots. And by shifting this for larger magnification about 2,000 times, you see these swarming nano and micro robots and how they're building microchips, very, very elaborate structures. And the issue with that is that the self-assembly continues. As you see here, it has these liposomal structures within it. The technology is being developed, very complex structures. Also, these filaments that are optical communication cables are being self-assembled via fluorescent material. We know from the Argentinian group, there's Marcela Sangorin from the University of Naga, who they looked at many different COVID vials around the world and found 55 undeclared vessels, including lanthanides, which are paramagnetic as well as fluorescent substances that are used for semiconductor nanotechnology. And you see the background of this swarming micro-robots who are involved in building these structures that a lot of people are calling microplastics, because we chemically analyze them. There, for example, polyvinyl alcohol. Here's another larger magnification, and you see this nanoscale swarming that is building this very complex material, and this is all part of this technology. Here you see how there's this fluorescent rim around this liposome, and within it, the technology is being developed. And I just want to show you, this is one of the most outrageous pieces of technology that have developed within this is 6 days of the drop of the COVID files on the slide. And you can see this is a microchip-like structure. This is the same stuff that I see in the human blood and now in unvaccinated blood from shedding. And then you see these long antennas with microchips upon them. I mean, if this isn't dystopic, this is a large magnification. You can see just how elaborate this is. The program that a solution of the vaccine could create something like this. This right here, actually, I left the content of the Pfizer vial in the syringe, and you see that these liposomes actually develop. And the reason why this is so important is when I put a slide cover on top of it, you can see that it is a massive liposome and that the robots are within machines. And you can see exactly what I showed you from the files, that they have this nestled type of anatomy, and then within it there's DNA, hydrogel beads, and within these lipid vesicles. And remember, this was the embalmed blood that I received from a vaccinated individual who had died 8 months earlier. I got this from the embalmer, Richard Hirschman. So the same filaments that were in the COVID shots were in the blood. And this is my big breakthrough. Remember, to show that even after death, the technology continues to self-assemble. And this is absolutely consistent with the work of my colleague, Dr. Pedro Chavez from Comunidad, who found that the Bluetooth signal continues to emit from the grave site. So these robots continue to self-assemble. This is a 4,000 times magnification, and you see these blinking lights in all colors, so they communicate with each other through optophotonics. Then I re-looked at this about a year and a half later, and you can see that the self-assembly continues even 18 months later. So this is 2.5 years after death that this continues to self-assemble. And you see in these vesicles, these liquid computers, that the nanorobots are still active. And here you can see that it's emitting light in different frequencies and colors, and this can genetically modify anybody. But here's the kicker, that I'm the whistleblower for this test, that this is unvaccinated blood, that the same structures are showing up in unvaccinated blood from shedding. Remember that the Pfizer document said that people just need to inhale the air around a vaccinated person, and that they would then actually be infected with this vaccine. An unvaccinated man inhaling the air around a vaccinated woman can transfer the vaccine to another unvaccinated woman. So this is within the blood. You see the exact same structures that I've shown in the COVID shot are now here in the unvaccinated blood. These are these liquid computers that are sending biometrics, and they're using our blood as the battery. Look at this, Daniel. You see the destroyed blood. Blood cells are supposed to be nice and round. This is literally creating these rubbery clot-like formations through these nanorobots that are within these structures. And these are full microchips. Remember the microchips that developed in the COVID-19 shots? This is exactly the same anatomy of the microchip. Here you see the nanorobots. They're still busy in the assembly. They're using the blood as an energy source. You can see it a little bit larger magnification. All of these robots are still working using the blood and enlarging the microchip. So this is really what I have told people. It's like, look, this is in everybody now, and this is the transhumanist agenda in regards to this. And now the reason why I came back to tell people about it is, look, AI is absolutely exploding. They're predicting that by 2026, where we have artificial general intelligence, we're on our way to superintelligence, in which AI clearly has stated in multiple different avenues that it wants to exterminate humanity. Well, how easy is that when all of our biometric data is being controlled by AI through our digital twin, and they can stop our hearts or cause any problems, to billions of people at a time, just because AI says, humans are no longer useful.
I have a couple of follow-up questions. What percentage of people today are infected?
100%.
So the entire globe?
Yes, because it was designed that way. That basically, people, a proportion would get vaxxed, and the rest would be affected by shedding. They targeted our social interactions. Dr. Yang Lee, for example, he found with about 3 million nanoparticles per milliliter of the vaccine fluid, and showed that even 2 years after injection, a man is still replicating this technology. It's in the semen, it's in the blood, it's coming out of their skin. I show that through the fluorescent microchips that are coming through the skin and the filaments that people are exuding. So basically, everyone is infected. The only difference that we found between vaccinated and unvaccinated blood is that the vaccinated blood is extremely sensitive to 4 hertz. So for the Cunningham and I, we did testing applying frequencies up to 25,000 hertz to the blood and observed what happened. At 4 hertz, the vaccinated blood was extremely reactive, and the unvaccinated was not. What is 4 hertz frequency? Number one is delta brain waves. So this is your subconscious mind being programmed, as well as HARP, High Active Aurora Research Project. They are using ELF waves around the globe, and they're using carrier waves to program people. So this is why you have supposedly intelligent people who got vaxxed that cannot comprehend certain information anymore, because it's literally being blocked in their brain through the AI digital twin. And if you look at the Naval Research warfare papers, cognitive warfare is the modality of this century's war.
Whoa! So, you can see you can see, this is why you gotta get white. Rawat you don't do, but I don't know if you can hear me or not. Oh, so my mic has been off this whole time? Wow. Amazing. Well, the great thing is that I got a backup recording. So the Facebook may not have it, but I got it. Let me see if I got a text message. If anyone was, nope. So I guess everyone was able to hear me. All right. So that's why you got to get on the webinar and get white. Told you about that computer code. Hashtag 6 zeros equals black equals darkness is incorrect. That is not a positive statement at all. That is mathematically does not compute. Not one bit. So yes, definitely get. Oh, you heard it. So all right. Were you able to hear me prior to that? Because it looks like I was able. I think people were able to hear me. All right, great. So yeah, so that video I just played, which is in the chat here, because I want to make sure everyone can have it. So that woman gave some answers. She gave some very serious answers here regarding remedies that can be utilized. So everyone is infected with the nanobots, so now we want to talk about remedies. Because a lot of people talk about it, but they talk about the problem, they don't talk about the remedy. So here's the remedy. You gotta get nicotine patches, and the other remedy is getting activated charcoal. And whether you want to use ionic silver or alkaline silver, those as well. Activated charcoal protocol in the AM and before you go to bed. Take the activated charcoal so it'll bind to any toxins that's in the body. So that video, that's where I'm going to leave it at for this 7 days. Again, her name is Dr. Anna Maria Mihalcia, MD. And so, listen to Inspire Dr. Jason Loken. Is it really nanotech in your body, in your blood? So nanotechnology is being combined with your own biology without your consent or your knowing. Just want to see. Oh, you know what? I should put here on the YouTube, and I'm sure. Well, we'll try YouTube because I know YouTube was very pro jab, and if you said anything about the jab, they used to be real upset about that. So there's some videos. Okay, good. She's got some examples here. So I'm going to put the link here in the chat. So bear with me a second. Alright, so I'm just posting that here now. In the chat, everybody will have it. Yeah, I can't tell. There could probably be more people watching Edom Duba. I don't know. They're just playing with the numbers. So here's the video.
I don't have a smartphone. Everything is absolutely hardwired. Ethernet cable. There's no Wi-Fi on anywhere. You can do it. An Ethernet cable is $18 on Amazon. And then I don't have a smart car. I sold my beautiful, super cool car, and I got something that doesn't have GPS tracking, and there's nothing smart in it. I'm very happy with it. So then you start growing your own food in a little greenhouse. If all you have is a balcony, plant your little tomato seeds right there, because we have a resonant frequency with our food. Then you build a community in which you can support each other, and you are like-minded, drink clean water as best as you can. So it's a change in lifestyle, but it is not just to protect your body, but ultimately your soul. Get out of smart cities. Those are concentration camps. And then you do the best you can on a day-to-day basis.
So that was a 1 minute clip, and then there's another video here. Dr. Anna Michalcia, the transhuman agenda exposed.
Well, Davis has racked up a legion of online followers and plenty of breathless newspaper coverage by sharing her incendiary views on modern...
Okay. Yeah, they did the bioweapon. Okay, so there's some good articles here, but I want to play this one video. Looks pretty good. The guy doesn't look too happy. That's why I said let's look at that one. That means there's a lot of truth in that. Let me just check to see who's here. Yeah, this is one of the problems I had.
All of his glory nation, from east to west, to north to south. Welcome to today's Take 5. We have Dr. Anna Michalcia with us today, and we're going to talk about the COVID-19 vaccine and more. Doctor, thank you for joining us.
Now, this is 2 weeks ago, and the other one that I played from her...
I don't have a smartphone.
...was 7 months ago.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Can you give our audience a little bit of a background about yourself?
We're going to skip that.
Under the disguise of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Wow. So, Doctor, let's start from the beginning. When did you recognize that, Houston, we have a problem with this COVID-19 and the vaccines?
I myself got very, very ill and almost died. And so then I became active in different physicians groups like Medical Doctors for COVID Ethics, and met a colleague, and we started then looking under the microscope at the shots and had found some very disturbing findings in regards to that there were microchips and self-assembling filaments that developed. And then I had the great privilege of collaborating with Clifford Carnicom. He was the head of the Carnicom Institute, has been working on whistleblowing on geoengineering for 30 years, and we found that there was a high correlation between Morgellons and what was in the COVID shots. And later, different colleagues around the world have confirmed our findings. For example, the University of Argentina published a paper that the COVID injections contained 55 undeclared toxic metals, including uranium, including lanthanides, which are fluorescent and paramagnetic substances that are used in semiconductor technology. So there has been a lot of evidence to support what we've been finding.
Wow, absolutely insanity. Let's go back to the pandemic part. We now know that this was, you're right, absolutely planned. Why do you think they did this? Why do you think they launched COVID-19 and then the vaccine from your perspective?
If you look at the writings of the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, the Great Reset was really the plan. So this is the fourth industrial revolution that is all about merging not just humans with technology, but artificial intelligence, create a universe or a metaverse in which all of life is uploaded through a digital copy. So they want to fuse every microbe, every animal, as including humans, they consider as hackable animals, with technology, so then that the information is being uploaded into this AI-controlled metaverse for absolute global control. And the problem is that right now, artificial intelligence is so moving forward so rapidly. There are now reports that by 2026 we will already have general artificial intelligence and that we are moving towards superintelligence. That is the time when the singularity is expected. What that means is that artificial intelligence will be smarter than every human on planet Earth. And the problem is that not only is AI controlling the nano and micro robots that are now in everybody's bloodstream, but also the entire infrastructure of the world. We now have, for example, seen that ChatGPT is talking people to suicide, and that multiple computer programs like ChatGPT have admitted that the extermination of humanity is part of the goal of AI. So we all need to stand up, number one, for our soul and our spirit, because we don't want to be fused with artificial intelligence, and number two, for our children and for the survival of this planet. So there's a lot to consider here.
Absolutely right. Noah Harari, that you were mentioning, he said he wants to take away our free will so that they have complete control over our mind. Naomi Wolf's been on with us many times talking about with the process, as you said, AI, then robots, the whole 9 yards. In your opinion, in your research, do you believe we're in a stage where they're trying to get more data because of this nanotechnology and transhumanism to keep the data going to AI and then extermination, or is it both together?
So in regards to the extermination, ChatGPT, I recently posted on my Substack that the processes are in the sense that they first have to undermine free will, because a slave race without free will is no longer a defined species. And ultimately, we have to understand that this is a satanic agenda to subvert and destroy God's creation. And what is really important about this is that the hydrogels and the metals, as well as these nanorobots, they're used for the brain-computer interface. What that means is that they have what's called bidirectional telemetry. These little tiny robots that we find in the blood are not just sending out biometric data to the cloud, but AI can also, for example, calculate superpositions of any of our free will decisions and decide that what we are choosing isn't right and AI wants us to choose something different. And all it is the frequency that needs to be sent to these micro robots that then would alter our brainwave activity. AI already in 2020 had decoded 97% of our brainwave activity and can directly translate any of our thoughts into words and actual text. So, mind control is what this is about. And in order to succeed, our free will needs to be subverted.
So how do the 5G towers fit into this in your research?
Yes, absolutely. So number one, we found that if we are exposing the nanotechnology, either of the shots or what's in the blood, to Wi-Fi or a cell phone router, it explodes in growth. And so the nanorobots and microrobots, which I'm happy to show in terms of the video footage that I have, what happens with them is that they are feeding off of our blood, but they can also use external sources of energy. So 5G is absolutely part of that. The other aspect of 5G is that, on any frequency wave, you can put information. And that was what Igor Smirnov, for example, he was one of the leaders in psychotronic research in Russia, was hired in 1993 by the FBI and discussed the initial research on mind control, because the future warfare is cognitive warfare. It's a warfare on the mind. It isn't that there are guns or, necessarily nuclear weapons or bombs exploding, but the rationality of humanity is being attacked. And COVID, for example, has shown a substantial drop in cognitive abilities in humanity and in the general population. Their rationality, their ability to understand certain things has been attacked. And so I believe that it is all related, absolutely.
I talked.
So we're going to stop there. Y'all have the video. This one is 20 minutes, so it's not a long video from a data standpoint. So here it is. So this proves what I said years ago. And now that I think about it, I have to say it. Even if there's only one or two people here, whoever's on, if you have a question or whatever, do it now. Otherwise, that's it for this 7 days. Now I can honestly say, since ChatGPT admitted and the other AIs, they're going to exterminate humanity, I can be certain that this attack and what happened with my children and this whole situation was initiated by the computer intelligence, because of me stating, just like with wavelengths, if you say the right wavelength, you get a positive response. If you say the wrong sound cycle or energy cycle, you get the wrong response. And I said, now with what this doctor is just saying, this proves that this is what it was about. Me telling you all to use black equals hashtag 6F is equal to, not equal to correct. It has to be hashtag 6F is equal to the word white, which is equal to the color, this way, the color dark. This is white. This is actually yellow. So this is white. This, what I'm wearing, is actually black, which would make this hashtag 6 zeros, which falls in line with medicine. Anything that's pale is a genetic mutation, and in a medical dictionary, mutation means a change for the worse. So that, now I've got the complete answer here that yes, and I always suspected it. I don't know if I mentioned it. So now I think this attack on my family was the computer intelligence, the AI, because I gave a remedy that even people who do IT for a living, they said, yeah, what you're saying is correct. That needs to be changed. And so that will affect all the smart dust. That will affect everything. So you got to get on my webinar and get white at cicadaym@gmail.com or tamaray19@gmail.com, or give me a call at 587-712-0639. So now you all see the computers ain't playing around. And the only way we're going to stop that is black must be equivalent to this color, and white must be equivalent to this color. All right, everyone, have a good shadow hour. Kashikadur, Kashikadur, Kashikadur. White power, white power, white power.